Gap Beach Resort Micro Investors. Now imagine this for a moment. 5 acres of beautiful beachfront land in Gomoa Feta, Ghana. The kind of place people dream of visiting. A location with everything it needs to become a 5-star resort. The only challenge is the part everyone knows too well. Waiting for a handful of big investors to appear with all the money. That wait can take years, and for many projects, it never happens. So the real question is, what if we didn't have to wait? Today we're looking at a development model that turns that challenge around completely. Because that's really the heart of it. How do you take a powerful vision, luxury villas, a beachfront experience, a resort people talk about, and make it real without depending on a handful of investors? It feels impossible at first, but the solution comes from a different mindset, a model built on community, participation, and shared growth. Here's why this matters. Landowners with strong ideas often end up stuck. You have the land, you have the plan, but everything pauses while waiting for those investors with the money. It's a frustrating place to be, year after year, watching a great opportunity just sit there. And in this moment, 2 clear pathways appear, the old way and the new way. The traditional route is slow and risky. You wait, and even if investors finally shows interest, they usually want a big share of control over your land and your future. The new route is different. It lets you move now with your community, and most important of all, it lets the landowners stay in charge of their land and their vision. This is where the core idea comes in. A shift from relying on rich investors to building a strong network of smaller supporters. This is the micro-investor model, the real innovation behind the project. And these micro-investors are not big corporate players. They're regular people here in Ghana and the diaspora, with savings who want more than bank interest or stock market promises. They want to invest in something real. Something they can visit, touch, and feel proud of. A physical asset that brings long-term income. Here's the key that makes everything possible. Resisting the temptation to build the full 5-star resort from day one. Instead, we start with what we call an MVP, the minimum viable product. It's a simple idea. An MVP is the first version of the resort that is good enough to welcome guests, charge money, and function safely, even if it is not yet the final, luxurious version we have in mind. It is not a rough construction site. It is a smaller, simpler resort that already works. A useful way to picture it is to think of how many families build their homes. They rarely build the full dream house in one go. First, they build 2 or 3 rooms, a bathroom, and a basic kitchen. They move in, live there, save more money, and when they can, they add more rooms, tiles, and decoration. The house starts simple, but it is already a home. So what does this MVP look like in real life? It is not a construction zone. It is a complete, functional cabin village. Comfortable cabins with privacy, proper water and electricity, a beautiful pool, a small but great restaurant, and of course, easy access to the beach. The day it opens, it is ready to welcome guests. And this part is important. The MVP already delivers a strong, enjoyable resort experience. It may be smaller than the final goal, but it is a finished product that welcomes guests, builds reputation, and starts generating income immediately. Now, if you're a potential micro-investor, the big question is always the same. How does the money work? And the strength of this model is how simple it is. 2 steps, clear and transparent. The first step is the entry contribution. This is not profit. This is the shared fund used to build the backbone of the resort. The roads, water system, power, security. It's the money that transforms empty land into serviced land. The second step is purchasing the cabin. This cabin is placed on a plot that is already part of the master plan for future villas. And once guests start coming and income starts flowing, the revenue is divided three ways: a return to the micro-investor, a share for the landowner for the use of their land, and a portion for the management company that runs operations and reinvests in improvements. Everyone benefits when the resort does well. But the cabin is just the beginning. The MVP is the first stage of the bigger dream, the luxury villa resort. This investment is not static, it grows. The development moves in two phases. Phase 1 gets the cabin village running and brings in real guests. This gives us real data: how many guests, how much they spend, what they like. Information that makes the next step stronger. Phase 2 uses this proven success to finance the luxury villas. And here is the question everyone asks immediately: if a villa is built on my plot, what happens to my cabin? It's a fair question, and the answer is simple: you do not lose anything. These cabins are prefabricated, which means they are portable. When the villas are being built, cabins are lifted and moved to another good location inside the resort. Your asset remains intact and keeps working for you. And once moved, the cabins continue creating value. They become accommodation for different types of guests, maybe budget-friendly stays, long-term guests, or housing for key staff. The important thing is that the cabin never becomes useless. It continues being part of the business and continues generating income. Nothing is wasted. When you zoom out and look at the full model, you see why it works. It's designed for everyone to win. For landowners, the advantages are big. They keep ownership of their land. Its value grows step by step. They begin earning earlier than usual. They reduce risk by not depending on a handful of big investors. And if rich investors appears later, the landowners now negotiate from a much stronger position, with a working business behind them, not just empty land. For the micro-investor, it is equally powerful. You invest in something you can touch and visit. You get full clarity, written agreements, and regular updates. And your investment has a clear path to grow, from a cabin to a luxury villa development. It's practical, it's safe, and it's real.